This is Janesh Pandya from Podcast Wizards. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to generate leads with your podcast. Now, when it comes to podcasting, one of the biggest issues and also the biggest benefits of it is that people listen to podcasts when they're doing something else. They are either in their car, they are either running, they are either cooking, and whatnot. So, getting them to consume your content at times where they're doing something else is really great because, well, they can't really read a blog post or can't really watch a video. But it's also bad because it's hard for them to take action upon. Just imagine yourself in a car and someone says, do this, and you're like, well, I'm driving. So it's really hard. But if you give them enough a reason to take action upon, then they will do it when they get the next chance to. And that is where you have to be creative about lead generation, about getting that email address of that listener so you can start building up a relationship with them and talking to them and helping them out more. And in return, that will help you grow your business as well. So a lot of people normally, when I've listened to podcasts, especially the ones where they're trying to grow their business, they normally just mention saying, just give us a review and that's it. That's no most of the times you have the call to action. The other call to action is go check out their guest website and things like that. But there isn't really something that helps them drive those leads to their own subscribers and build their database. But there's 3 different podcasts that I'd like to show the example of that do this really well. So let's get right into it. So the first podcast is Web Marketing That Works. Now, this is hosted by Adam Franklin and Toby Jenkins from Blue Wire Media. These guys basically have really awesome guests. They interview them in terms of what has worked for them in digital marketing and web marketing and what hasn't, and go into the nuts and bolts and details. So make sure you check out the podcast. But one of the biggest things they do is they have something called the flagship content. A flagship content is basically a keystone piece of content which people are willing to pay for if you were to charge. And in their case, it's this 33 free marketing templates. It's so bloody awesome that like when you start looking at them, you're like holy shit, this I would have paid for, because the templates they share are really, really that good and really high quality. And though they're sharing this across their whole website, it also gives that reason for that listener, if they're listening it for the first time, to go to their website and download it. So they do this via their first sponsorship message. They go, this is sponsored by their book, and this can be downloaded. This 33 free marketing templates can be downloaded from the website. Now, if you want to learn more about the creating a flagship content, I'd also interviewed Adam on my podcast, and we talked about key to creating a solid web strategy, and he also discusses how to create your flagship content in it as well. So check that out. Now, the second one is the Fizzle podcast. Now, these guys are really, really awesome. They're so genuine about what they do and how they help entrepreneurs and honest business builders in the conversations they have. They share real great insight. But one of the amazing things how they do their lead gen is actually offering 5 weeks of the membership site they have for free. So free access for 5 weeks. Now, if you go to the normal website, you'll only get 2 or 3 weeks. So this is something special because of you being a podcast listener. So they have that little bit of an edge. So that gives that podcast listener a reason to come back to their website and then sign up to. So think of what you would be able to give something different to the podcast listener. So it's treating them a little bit specially. Now, the last one is content upgrades. Now, Pat does this quite well as well. For some episodes, he really creates great content upgrades. Now, if you don't know the concept of content upgrades, it's literally a bonus specifically for that blog post or that particular podcast episode that you can provide that adds a little bit more value, like, for example, a checklist or a PDF transcript. I think James Schramko does that with Superfast Businesses as well. So things like a list of tools and resources, additional content, transcripts, a quick start guide, a checklist, and whatnot. So there's a lot of different options you could do, but it's quite specific for that particular episode or that particular blog post. So think about those kind of things and try to spice up how you can generate leads from your podcast, because it does take the listener a little bit of effort and you want that to be in their mind. So those were the 3 ways. Now, if you have other creative ways, please do share in the comments below. Would love to see what other things you guys are using and what you've come up with as well. So feel free to share. This has been Janesh Pandya from Podcast Wizards. Podcast Wizards is a podcast editing and production service for podcasters who want to grow their business, save time, and earn more. So let us help you add a little bit of magic into your podcast.